I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick of watching 15-20 minute guides that feel like they could be way shorter. Let's hurry this one up. Welcome to a last Epoch Rogue leveling guide. We're actually going to start with items this time because I feel like itemization is really important on this build. For weapons, one-hand swords, one-hand daggers. Don't even bother with anything else. Things like this one that give crit strike multi is really nice. Just make sure you're looking at the implicit. Try to wear the best thing you can in terms of damage. For lines, in order of importance, I would just go ahead and say you want crit strike multi, percent physical melee damage, attack speed, and then flat melee. Mix and match. Don't just like go heavily all into one. If you are gonna go all into one, make a crit strike multi. But yeah, you can see even like this one, I rolled fire damage. Oh well, I don't have anything better. 44 flat melee on the implicit, we're rocking it. For the rest of the gear, just usual shit. Dodge rating is actually really nice on this class, so keep that in mind. Just wear whatever the best armor you can. Try to put as much crit multi on every last piece of gear you can, so you want to try to throw it on these rings and stuff. I wasn't able to. Again, just crit multi, resistances on everything else. On the belt, just go for like as much health and other things as possible. And then movement speed is always on the boots. All right, next up is skills. We're gonna start with Puncture, your first spec. 2 points into Splinter, work your way all the way over here into Death's Imprint. This is the most important part of this thing. It's gonna take you like 7 levels. Once you've got Death's Imprint from putting points all the way here, pick up 2 points into Perforate and 2 points into Press the Attack. This gives us Frenzy. Basically, it's just an attack speed steroid. And then you wanna grab Cadence of Death and pick up some Mutilate. The Mutilate's not really that big of a deal, but who doesn't wanna heal a little bit, right? This is really all that's important. Shadow Daggers, anytime you land a hit on someone, once you get 2 points in it, you give them a stack of Shadow Daggers. At 4 stacks, they get hit for a massive melee crit. We're basically trying to focus around this. So once you get there, you're golden. Until you have Shadow Daggers, it might be a little bit more damage to use Flurry, so you can keep it on your bar. I wouldn't worry about speccing it though, because once you get Shadow Daggers, this is way stronger. Second one's gonna be Shift. We're gonna pick this up at level 8. Starts with 2 points into Velocity, 2 points into Momentum, 1 point into Lasting Presence, and then 1 point into Dancing Shadows. This is all we care about. Now, once you have this, you cast Shadow Cascade anytime you dash, which this ability hits so hard that sometimes you will just be killing mobs every time you dash. You won't even have to auto attack them. One of the reasons why I think this is just the smoothest, best leveling process I've ever done. After you've got that, 1 point at Unseen, 2 points into Broad Sweep, and then pick up 2 stacks of Hidden Blades, so that now your Shift also applies a stack of Shadow Dagger. Kind of see where we're going with this. All right, moving on from Shift, we're gonna start Shadow Cascade. Shadow Cascade is just a big circle attack. As you can see here, it's the one that's gonna cast anytime you dash. We're gonna put 2 points into Dismantle, 1 point into this, 1 point into this. Shadow Cascade won't work with attack speed anymore. It'll kind of feel sluggish sometimes, but it's still your best AoE clear. 1 point to Flow State. This is why we want Swords and Daggers. You're gonna see a similar thing in our passive tree. 1 point to Execution, and then 1 point into Careful Assault. This is gonna make it so that anytime we have 1 shadow, it does more damage. When you shift, you leave a shadow. There you go, 25. If you put more points into this, it'll fuck it up. You won't get your damage bonus anymore because it'll need 2 shadows or 3 shadows. Leave it at 1. From there, you can put 2 points into this, and then 4 points into Shadow Flourish. You'll get bonus physical damage, and that's a pretty big deal. Like 140% global physical for us is gonna be massive. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Smoke Bomb. You put a bunch of smoke on the ground. It's a layer of safety. We're gonna use it for offense. We're gonna start with 1 point into the Thick Smoke, 3 points into Shred, 1 point into Fog, and then 2 points into Knives in the Dark. Anytime an enemy's standing in your fog, they're gonna get a stack of Shadow Daggers every second. Just putting stacks on them as fast as we can. From there, 2 points into Fumes, 2 points into Smoke Blades. This makes it so you do more damage in it. And the big one, Blood Bandit. This is gonna give us Leech while we're in the fog. This is something this build really needs. You're frail, you're a rogue, you got a lot of dodge chance, and we're gonna also be stacking Glancing Blow, but without this leech, sometimes it could just feel like you're getting chipped down. Gotta remember, this is where your leech comes from. Put this down when you want healing. For the last one, at level 50, we're gonna pick up Umbral Blades, and this is where the build kind of changes a little bit. How we're gonna have it spec'd. You basically throw your Umbral Blades and they spin wherever you throw them. On the third cast, they come back. You're gonna start with 1 point to Downfall, 1 point into Sword Thrower, and then 1 point to Lethal Darkness. On this third one here, now anytime someone gets hit with them, they get applied a dagger. That's pretty huge. With that, we're gonna put 1 point into Precision Cuts so we can aim it, and then it's just gonna be picking up Cacophony of Steel so they spin in place, and then we'll just come down here, put 2 points into Torrent, 1 point into Loathing so that now they home, we don't have to worry about it so much. and the rest isn't that big of a deal. Right now, I went ahead and did 1 into Edge and 2 into Soul Thief so that I can have a higher attack speed on this. I'm probably just going to keep filling that out, maybe put 1 more point into Steel Torrent. But for the most part, I've got everything I need. The daggers themselves isn't doing a lot of damage. We're just trying to get a whole bunch of shadow daggers on enemies. Let's go ahead and start on passives. We're going to start with 5 points into Swift Assassin. I want to put 1 point into Twin Blade. Now we can dual wield. 1 point into Guile, and then go ahead and drop the rest of the 5 points in Evasion. This gives us less damage taken while moving. Don't stop moving. 3 more points into Swift Assassin. Now you got access to Duelist. 5 points there. Fuck. 5 points into Duelist. Now, Blade Dancer Tree. We're gonna go ahead and put 5 points into Pursuit. This will give us an 8% bonus movement speed, always nice. And then we're gonna go ahead and put 5 points into Cloak of Shadows. With that out of the way, 5 points into Shroud of Dusk, and then we're gonna go ahead and put 5 points into Vial of the Night. Let's go ahead and talk about this real fast, right? So Cloak of Shadows gives you a chance to receive Glancing Blow when you're hit. Basically, that just means that you'll take 35% less damage whenever this procs. It is nice though, very important. Shroud of Dusk, similar thing. When you hit someone, you get a chance to increase Shroud of Dusk. A Shroud of Dusk just gives you increased dodge rating and a 5% more chance to receive Glancing Blow. Vial of the Night increases that chance, gives you a lot more attack speed, very helpful. Now with the rest of our points, we're gonna go ahead and just dump everything into once. This is a bunch of flat damage, you always love it. Let's put 3 more points into here on Pursuit. All of a sudden we're starting to realize, man, there's not a lot in here in this first half of the tree that we really want. Sadly, that's true. I'm not gonna bother going into this flow stuff. It's complicated once you use 4 spells back to back, who cares? We can go ahead and pick up Dodge and Parry. That'll give us a little bit extra Glancing Blow, keep us alive. We can go ahead and pick up Thief Guard. Gives us health and health gain on Glancing Blow. Always happy with that. You want a higher crit chance? You can go for that. You want to hit someone hard every 3rd hit? We can go for that. If you are a Blade Dancer, the rest half of this tree is really good. You can go ahead and pick up Blood Dance and keep going on. If you're both Marksman, at this point, you're level 55, you're this far into the thing, you should start looking at other builds. But you can absolutely use this to carry you through on Marksman. I did it on my last Marksman. It's way faster than any leveling a Marksman's gonna do. But, you know, you got a whole tree that works around you having a bow. You should probably swap to it at some point. Falconeer, honestly, this will probably just be as good as Falconeer, or for Falconeer as well. I will probably level my Falconeer on this build. Let's talk about playstyle for this build. We're here at the arena. If you don't know where this is at, it's in the Divine Era, up towards the top in Hailboria, Champion's Gate. You're gonna come to like Wingari Fortress as part of the story anyways. Once you're done, you can just come on down to Kolheim and then go into Champion's Gate and you're good, right? You can teleport from here from then on out. It's got training dummies, huge boon. In the beginning, it's just gonna be this. You're just gonna keep auto attacking, get your big ol' hits. That's simple enough, right? We'll dash occasionally, throw Shadow Cascade. Gotta remember to dual wield. Since I was redoing my passive tree, it took off my dual wield. If you're not dual wielding, you can't cascade. Anyways, once you get W, it kind of changes. I've found it best if I just throw both daggers out and start holding down right click. It's a lot of damage because now we're applying stacks from like everything. You can drop Q, and now you're getting a lot of bursts. You can see there we're getting like 30,000 and everything. Why? Because we have so much armor shred on the dummy with everything stacked up. It's a very simple build. In maps, you're just eing through, R'ing whenever there's a big clump around you. Got a boss or a big enemy, throw 2 daggers, start stabbing him. You don't have the Shadow Cascade or the Shadow Daggers yet, Umbral Blades? Just keep stabbing. Simple as that. Dash occasionally, you should be good to go. Honestly, this is the easiest leveling experience I've ever had. I think this build's super busted. It will be slightly nerfed in 1.0, but it's like a slap on the wrist. This build's still gonna be insane. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe. We'll try to do more of these. And if you enjoyed the format, let me know as well. I can keep trying to speed these up. Peace.